So anyhow, welcome to the meeting. So you want me to have this run us by Brandon then? Before I send it? Okay. Okay.
Before,
Yeah. Gotcha. There you go.
everybody ready? That's on. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 7:03. We'll call roll. Councilor Ballard, Councilor Banks, Councilor Scott, and myself, and Councilor Johnson is all present.
I didn't ask him for that.
Would you mind asking the prayer for us, Dirk?
Sure. Our Heavenly Father, we bow our heads before Thee tonight and wish to thank Thee for all the blessings that we have. We are grateful to live in this community. We are grateful to live in the United States of America. We pray for Thy blessings to be upon both. Please bless us and guide us here in this meeting tonight, that we might all be guided by Thy Spirit in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I'll follow in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we start into the schedule here, I'd just like to thank the office staff and everybody that's been working on the budget and been knocking it down. I appreciate the effort and the time you guys have spent on all of that. Big job. We'll move into the public comment. Benjamin, do you have a comment you'd like to make to us? You can come up here.
All right, well, thanks for hearing me out, so I'll try and make this short. I was in there with Justin, well, back about 2 or 3 months ago, and I told him that it looks like I've been being overcharged on my trash bill. It's $55 a month. So he said he would try to make it right with me, but he said he had to talk to you guys, see what's going on. So the next month, he gave me these documents here from several years back. I've been renting the shop up here across from the Buckskin for the last 7 or 8 years. But anyway, I was charged $55.50 a month, and it's not my trash can. It's there for the park, for the RV park there. But I've used it a few times, now and then. But I told him, I said, look, it's not fair for me to pay it because it's not my trash can. Everybody feels it, everybody uses it. But me, most of the time I don't even use it. But I noticed when I was paying my bill, it was $55 a month, so Justin made an adjustment to $14 for the next month. And the bill, I was in to talk to this gentleman here about it, and he said to bring it up for you guys, so here I am. But anyway, I think just for the sake of being fair, I've been being charged about $50 a month for the last 6 or 7, 8 years that I shouldn't have had to pay. I mean, a portion of it, once in a while, most of the time I don't even use it, because it's not mine. It belongs.
There hasn't been near as much stuff going in it there as there was for a while. There was a lot of wood stuff going in it for a long, long time. But we will take it into consideration and decide what we're doing here.
Okay. That's, I just want.
It's our deal. I have a dumpster I pay $55 a month for at my place every month too, so.
I'm sorry, we say again.
I'd say I have a dumpster at my place I pay $55 a month for every month too. And it's a service that's well worth it, I think. But, we'll talk about it and see if there's a fair way that we can
That's
make
fine.
that.
I'd like to,
So just to be clear, and we can't, because it's not on the agenda, we can't make any decisions.
I understand.
But
Yeah.
you're saying you've been paying $55 a month for the last 6 or 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
you just now noticed it?
Yeah, I haven't been paying that much attention to it because I have a mining operation and I've been really busy. And I just didn't pay that much attention. I just thought that was what I was supposed to be charged. And then when I brought it up with Justin, he said, hey, no, that's not right, so he made an adjustment on it. So
But
for-
you do use it?
Once in a while, yeah, but not very often.
So you're saying it's not yours, but you're dumping trash?
Well, yeah, it's belongs to all, it belongs to the RV park there. Everybody uses it.
Oh,
But I didn't think it was right for me to have to pay 55. Does everybody pay 55? If everybody pays 55, then I got no complaint.
I pay 55.
Yeah,
No,
you,
I pay closer to 75.
yeah.
So I guess we need to have,
Well-
either put that on the
Can we put it
agenda.
on the agenda for next time and
Okay.
get something worked out on it?
Just whatever you think's fair.
And what
You know.
was your name?
Benjamin Terry.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have the following consent items that need to be approved. Is there any other public comment? Jan, do you have something you need to?
You don't want to hear mine,
Oh, really? If you need,
no, I'm good.
all right.
Thank you.
That's what, hey, that's what this meeting's for. We're not mind readers.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good, you're all good.
You don't know us.
I know. No comment.
All right, we'll move on. So we need to approve the agenda for June 11th and the minutes for May 28th.
I also have a question. Do we not approve the payment register anymore?
Yes, we do, but it's not on the agenda, so.
We need, the last couple times it's not been, but I think that's because, I don't know why, but we need to start putting the payment approval on the consent items again.
I'm just guessing, I think probably what it is because I've been taking care of the check signing before the meeting, so we don't have to all do it here. So we haven't had it.
But we still need to
Yes,
approve it, so
I
that
agree
needs
with
to
you.
go.
It just needs to be put on the discussion.
Right, so, other than that, I make a motion that we approve the consent items, the agenda for June 11th, and also the minutes for May 28th. Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. We'll move on to the report.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
You're out of practice,
I
my
am.
friend.
We'll move on to the report section. I don't have a lot to report other than I know these guys have been super busy with the budget for 21 and 22 and the current one, and I really appreciate that. Any of you other council members have anything you'd like to report on or comment on?
Just a question, were you able to find anything on some of those items that we talked about the taxes?
My son-in-law is actually an accountant. I talked to him quite a bit about the list of them that's on there. And he told me the same thing that Ted told me, the one in yellow, if you've seen that, right? About the one that we're having a hard time pinpointing where it went to, is the one that they're the most concerned about. If we can get that one, I think we can get all the other ones and, get that thing taken care of. That's all I've been able to come up with.
Okay.
He seems to think
Well,
that,
I just knew that
yeah.
you had,
yeah, I've looked at it a lot and asked a lot of questions. Ted he's made a lot of phone calls.
oh, he lives with that
Yeah.
phone on his ear.
So we're getting closer on it. We have until, what, the 28th? So we'll continue working on that. Do you guys have anything from the office, Tracy or Lisa, that you'd like to comment on?
No, we were just told that we didn't need to do that check register except to put it in so you can see it because, same thing.
Yeah, we would like to
But we
see
can
that.
definitely put it back on.
Yeah, we would like to be aware of whatever we're spending that on, so it'd
Sounds
be
good.
good for us to see all that. Evelyn Erickson thanked the community and the police for the cleanup in her yard. I know there's a lot of effort from everybody, the police, and she sent a special thank you. Heard a lot of comments on the cemetery sign. There's a nice article in the paper, I don't know if you noticed that, Dirk and Kenny, all you guys that worked on that. That was a nice job, looks really nice.
Do we need to approve these minutes? from
Yes.
last time? Okay.
No, we did that already, didn't we?
Sorry, you did it along with the check
Yes.
review? Okay, gotcha.
Move into our action items. Discussion and possible action regarding hiring an assistant deputy clerk. And we'll let you explain that to us, Cecil.
Okay,
What
we,
we're trying to do here.
to keep things from getting bogged down like they did a few years ago, we were talking about it among the office staff, and Tracy Stump made the same mistake I made here a while back about stepping forward and volunteering. And she has been doing just a super job trying to translate and figure out all of the ins and outs and wherefores in our town clerk office, and has been doing just a super job with that. And so what we would recommend to the council to do is to hire another assistant deputy clerk, so that the other, all of the stuff around her that right now she's still trying to do a little bit at a time, we can go ahead and shift that on to someone else so that Lisa can get her, and Ted has been taking notes also of trying to get a training manual prepared for that. So that's the reason why we feel that we need to have another clerk. Also, if Tracy Goodall is able to come back, it would give us a clerk that we could spread around, because there's some of the computer work over at the senior center that needs to be done. And there's a request from the police department that they have a clerk up there once in a while, a few hours a week at least. And so it's not going to be all from one spot in the budget down the road. It's gonna be shared amongst all of the budget lines, the expense of the salary. It's not just a lump sum type thing. Ted, you're scratching your head.
It might help if I give an audit update and a budget update before we make a decision on
Okay.
That's coming up.
Yeah, you're,
Would that be all right?
yep, you're on the agenda to do that.
I gave you a handout with the audit update, and that's a separate stack, and it's intended for you to just kind of absorb over the next few days so that when we're gonna have to have another working session.
Are you talking about the smaller one or the bigger?
The bigger one is the budget, the one in the one that has a folder that says audit is the audit. And so both those documents are gonna be needing to be reviewed. The audit will be under an executive session, under the A1 and A2 clauses. And so we will be setting that meeting up, subject to you guys being able to meet on Thursday at 7. And we have the accountant consultant available at that time also, so it'll be subject to that. So with regards to the audit, you've got the audit and you've got those items that we can't seem to get past, are highlighted in yellow. There are a lot of items that we can fix, but that's gonna be an ongoing thing. But we do have a deadline to fulfill and then another deadline after that. With regard to the budget, you have, I've given you a number of documents that, and trying to review them now would be kind of a waste of your time, but you've got a budget summary that was basically as a letter describing where we're at and what we need to do. You have a draft budget that, for this coming, and that's there also. And then we have draft input sheets from some of the department heads, the police, Skyler, and Karen Share, and a few others. And then budget status as of 5/20/24. So it shows you where we're at. Even we're on a fiscal year, which is July, but it does show you where we're at, and there is some concerns on being able to meet our budget. So why I felt like it was important is that as we make the decisions now, there are some that seem really straightforward, but we do have some pretty significant budget issues that need to be addressed. And this one that you just talked about on the assistant deputy clerk, it's kind of a neutral one because it does help it will be someone that will be shared with the police, with the senior center, and then with the office. At present, Tracy and Justin and Lisa's on loan. And then myself as a volunteer, it's pretty bleak. If we lose somebody, it's gonna be difficult. And I think it would be good to have, for those that are the praying type, to have Tracy Goodall in your prayers because she needs them. But her coming back is, we hope she makes it back, what she accomplished and what she was doing was quite amazing. That's all I had, but as you look at these and going right to the discussion of the assistant deputy clerk, we have some amazing police, we have some amazing staff, I have yet to see anything that's not impressive within the city. It's been an eye-opener from the courts to so we'd like to have the department heads present at that budget meeting so that they can, I hope that we can come out with a team decisions and look at the overall impacts of the budget and where we're at and what we can afford and what we can't. But that one item is an item that could be acted upon, but you can also act on it on Thursday. And same goes with the discussion of possible Chief Peterson's request on an officer and office manager. That kind of overlaps with that one, and that may be something that we want to look at in the budget with Nicole and Officer Peterson and those present. But you can see the ones that are down below that hit the budget. That will be a busy evening on Thursday with the budget. I'm pretty sure we won't get through it, and then the closed session, the executive session will occupy probably about a half hour. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. a day or two to think about that and come in on Thursday. We'll have that meeting and discuss those two items. I mean, we can discuss number 3 tonight. How do you guys feel?
If we're just shooting in the dark, we probably ought to table it and talk about it on Thursday.
I think I'd like to have a minute to look over this budget stuff before we, and there's some other things that I'm wanting to look at too. And there's quite a few of us involved that need to communicate a little bit more before we make a decision, I think.
Now, this is something that having a three-year gap and sitting here on the council, this is the first time we've ever done this. This is great. I mean, it's gonna be hard, and it might get a little muddy, but it's something that we have to do as a town to take care of the business at hand. So, yeah, let's go ahead and then, because that clerk and some other, I think there's a couple of other items on there too that we'll talk about on Thursday night. Dirk, were you making a motion to let's wait?
Yeah, I do, and I guess there's nowhere on here to discuss that. I'm kinda curious about some clarification though. The 24-25 proposed budget, then we've got 23-24 adopted budget, and then the projected actual is, about $6 million less than the adopted budget. A big part of that comes out of the special revenue funds. Did we have projects that we planned on that we did not do? Do you know where I'm talking?
Yes, and that's why we need to have that, that's why there's a lot of backup documents, and as you review those, you're gonna see the impacts of rollovers and the impacts of decisions that are associated with grants. And we just gotta be all on the same page as we approve things so that there is overlaps. For example.
Like on the street revenue funds, the grants was one that's a big one. Is that one, but that looks like it's been plugged right back into the
Yes.
24-25.
Yes, and then there's, law enforcement is working on some grants, but what we can't do is budget without having approval for that grant. So and then something as simple as backup generators and some other things. There's duplications that are in the request.
One thing.
Yes, and we just need to get them in the right category so that, for example, the police needs a generator, backup generator. And so, the only one we put in was in the senior center. And so we need to address making sure that we get the overlaps out, because we did find overlaps. As we got detail for the law enforcement, we found that some of it was in the other portions of the budget. And so we just need to move things around and make sure we're all on the same page so that the duplications are removed, and especially with the personnel one. That's why I suggested that we
meet on Thursday.
because the police has that in their budget, we have it in ours, and so, but we need to divide it up.
Okay.
So there's homework that we need to do. Hope that makes sense. Any questions on that?
So one other thing though, number 1 and number 3 also not only are related in the fact that we don't have the final budget, but number 1 discussed regarding hiring an assistant deputy clerk, and number 3 also talked about not just a new officer but an office manager. Has there been open dialogue on this?
Yes.
You guys are talking.
Yes, we are
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
And they provided a list, a really nice list of the items that were all lumped into one. And that's where it became visible that we had overlaps in the budget. And so Skylar did the same thing, and so is Karen Share and others,
So if on the assistant deputy clerk, if we're to do that and also include that as an office manager for the police, are you saying we're just gonna take that out of one budget or the other, or are we gonna split part of that
according to,
to percentages?
yeah, according to Lars, there'd be a percentage
Okay.
placed on. And that would also be helping the senior centers also
All three?
for some of their computer work that they need there.
Okay.
Okay. So that one needs to be looked at and split up properly. Okay.
Would you mind just coming up for a second, Jason, and kind of sharing your ideas with us on that, on the personnel? Just so we have something to kick around with.
Gotta pick on somebody.
All right, what do you got? Questions?
Just, number 3, it's discussion and possible action regarding Chief Peterson's request for new officer and office manager.
It is Pedersen.
It says it on here, I'll just
We've
read
been
it.
saying it wrong. Okay. I'll make note of that.
Ted and I have had a good conversation a couple times about an office manager / town clerk, and I think it's a good idea. That would actually cut our budget, some of the salaries in half, because when we first did the budget, we put in as 100% for a town clerk, or for an office manager. And it makes more sense because right now we couldn't use somebody full-time, but we could use them part-time, kind of like what Ted was saying. They could use it part-time as well, so we could split that 50-50 straight across or something like that, is what we're hoping for. So, and if that would go, then we could go with we can go with the new officer, cause we have to know like soon, cause we have to get him lodging. And if we miss the lodging, then we're out. So that's why he was on the agenda tonight. So
What does soon mean?
means that he's checking in. If we get approval, he has to check in the academy in July.
So if we decide on Thursday, is that soon enough?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
That'll give us an idea, kind of what we're all, just so we're all on the same
And
page.
you have somebody that you're like in the batter's box.
Yes, we actually do. He's actually here tonight. That's weird that you said that. That's weird.
So can we be nosy?
Yes, come on, stand up, son. Now you're on the hot seat. Go ahead.
So just tell us who you are, what you do.
My name is Joshua Harris. Born in born in Mountain View, California, but pretty much born and raised in Lompoc, California. Graduated from Cabrillo High School in 2014. Did 2 years of college at Cal State San Marcos for biology. Realized school wasn't really for me. Joined the Navy as a hospital corpsman.
One Marine to a Navy.
Well, it comes full circle. Boot camp at Great Lakes, Illinois, Corpsman A School in San Antonio, Texas. Then my first command was the Naval Submarine Medical Research Lab in Groton, Connecticut. Was there for 2 years. And then after that, January of 2020, went to Field Med, which is out of Camp Pendleton, to become a corpsman or medic for the Marine Corps. And then after that, I spent 3.5 years in 29 Palms, California, with the Marine Battalion, 3rd LAR. And then I came here in early 2017, had just drove through May of 2017 with my family. We went from Zion to Lake Powell. My dad and I, when we drove through, we loved Kanab. We fell in love with Kanab, Fredonia, this whole area. And so I was already committed to joining the Navy, but I was like, as soon as I get out, I'm coming out here. And so got out of the Navy, out of 29 Palms, moved out here last May And then I worked with Tim Judd with his handyman company. And then from this past January till now, I'm working with Kenny Sang Construction, doing that development out at the Ranchos.
So how do you hook up these guys? They write you a ticket or what?
No, so when I was working with Tim, we did a few jobs, and then found out he was a Marine. He found out I was a corpsman, and so he was like, "Oh, we might be hiring soon if you apply." And I was like,
Okay,
I
now
wanna
I've got a
stay out
question
here.
Regarding your medical training, your corpsman.
"Yes, sir."
How does that translate into becoming an EMT for a fire department?
So
Well, I know, but
Yeah, well-
the law says sometimes no, so
Well,
that's why I'm asking.
this is where it's kind of funny. So when I went to core school, when I got there in September of 2017, the core school curriculum changed. So prior to that, your first month and a half, you do all the EMT stuff with the Air Force and the Army. But the Navy switched at that point to, so I think we were the third class with the new curriculum. We didn't do EMT, we did TCCC, so Tactical Combat Casualty Care. That's what we switched over to, so there was really no cert that translate to the civilian world. But I have all the TCCC certs. I have CTM, Combat Trauma Management. I have Valkyrie, which is the whole blood transfusion program. I have all those certs, instructor certs. I have all of that stuff. But it's sad, none of it really translates to the civilian world. But
That was my concern. I know that what you've been doing is basically a doctor's work.
yeah, yes, sir.
And registered nurses and stuff like that, but how much of that would you, or are you even interested in doing something like that for our town for?
Of course, I am. Of course.
Okay. Answered that real easy.
And my last, I think 9 months in the Navy, I was the sick call soup clinic manager. So I was in charge of the whole 3rd LAR Battalion's clinic.
Yeah.
So
Say a doctor.
I wouldn't say doctor, but
Well, but
I
knocking on the door.
at least a nurse. I wasn't an officer. I was enlisted, but I have a lot of medical experience,
Yes. Okay, that's,
and I want to stay in this area for the rest of my life, so I don't know if that helps, but I want to be here, and the job I currently have won't keep me here forever.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Dustin. I was wondering why.
Leave him alone.
That'll bring us down to item number 5, discussion of possible action regarding approval.
We skipped number 2.
Oh, yeah. And Kenny will talk to us about that, the levy,
Yeah, it costs
the
us a
water
lot of money.
resources.
I don't know what to discuss it, it was real good and everything, they had a lot of positive things to say on the levy, so this is the report right here, it's kinda hard to read all about it, but apparently we got a pretty good rating out of it,
Good,
so
that's great.
it was they're real good, decent people, they treat us real good and everything, and I think we did quite a bit of work on that, and they get up the specs on things, and there's some improvement, but not very much on it, so that's all I have to say. And Dirk and his family, they helped out great, the school helped out on it, so we had a lot of people up there all working hard on it.
Well, I think they just gave some specific things they want to see. I think if we address those,
But majority of it's pretty good though,
okay.
cause they was all positive when I walked with them through the full length So that was real good.
Okay, so we discussed number 4, right?
Yeah.
Or is-
Yeah, okay.
And
Number-
we'll be sending, putting out notice tomorrow and then the next day for the 24 hours recording.
Okay. Now we'll move to item 5, discussion of possible action regarding approval for extra hours for office staff to clean the downstairs and the file room. I was here a little bit this week and seen some of the mess that come out of there. It needs to be done, and it needs to be done now.
We also have IT issues that creeped up when we had the outage. I meant to bring that up when I get you guys an update. But we had, it was mentioned by the IT group, we needed to get that stuff moved away from our equipment, our server and other stuff. So talked to Officer Peterson, and it's still being used as storage, but he was gonna work on getting that moved out. And I'm not sure the status of that, and how far off that is, but that'll give us room to move into that other storage area. But in the interim, we need to clear it out so that we can get the door locks and other IT wires pulled. And a pending action item that we'll be putting on the agenda for the budget will be some IT work that wasn't included in this budget.
Okay.
So discussion and possible action regarding extra hours for office staff, coming in on another day, working longer days, what's the plan?
Saturday, weekend or Friday, Saturday, or whatever they can do.
And there's 20 years worth of dust down there. Just give us a guesstimate, how long, it took 20 years to get where it's at, how long can you fix it?
Will you accept volunteers?
We will accept volunteers. So we actually had a couple of the, guys come in and pull a couple bags upstairs. And these bags were heavy. It took 2 of them to bring them upstairs. And all it is just old papers from, meter readings and over 10 years old. That we just need to figure out what we need to do with it. There's boxes and bags and Christmas stuff in the IT room and, you know.
So we can't just chuck it though, there could be stuff in those bags that we
Right.
need. Oh,
It's
And
been,
I did request a retention schedule for documents, and so that we don't throw anything away that would be within that retention schedule. But we haven't received that yet, and but we still got to sort through it to determine what we can throw away and what we can't.
okay.
But the retention schedule will give us that legal ease to be able to do what we need to do. They've already done a lot of it. It used to be in here for a while.
It'll be 7 years for sure, probably.
So is this just carte blanche, like we were talking about items 1 and 3, not being sure about the budget on this one? Is the office staff budget good to cover this?
Yes, because Tracy, is going on disability, and that's coming out of state funds, so we do have funds there, but overall, we're not in good shape on
We are on overall, meaning the town, I'm talking about the office.
our office is good.
So I make a motion that we approve the extra hours, so will you say Friday or Saturday? 8 hours a day, twice a week, what are you?
We usually need 3 or 4 Saturdays, and we hope to have that at least clean.
Caught
Dave
up.
will help us as well.
Oh, 4/7,
Kimball.
okay. I make a motion that we approve the extra hours for the office staff to clean the downstairs and file room.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 6, discussion and possible action regarding approval for care and share budget items. That in the packet.
The care and share, I think we might want to add it to the budget review process on Thursday.
Okay.
There is some, little bit of overlap there also, with the police, and maybe the generator and some of the other. So that there will be some changes there that will probably come to light as we review the budget.
It's my understanding also that in the past, that there really hasn't been a part of the town budget for care and share. It's all been just whatever they could glean from grants here and there. And so that's one reason why it's appearing new on our information for this year.
And here's the care and share document, and that will have that up. This is the detail that we asked from each department, and this is what they were requesting.
So, one of the accountants evidently has put this on for this year so that they would have a budget rather than just having to look for stuff or pay for stuff out of the general fund. That's the way it's always been done in the past.
Well, they've done a great job keeping that thing rolling. It's been a lot of work. Sure. Sure. We're gonna time you though.
And I'm new at this because I've been 22 years and I just barely found out that I've been having a budget of $12,000 a year. So I just want to bring you an update on that. I've never been paid for wages. St. Mary's does not pay us wages. They send the food. We spend 2 days, 2.5 days getting ready every other week. It's a lot of work. It's a hard, and I'm not complaining because we enjoy it. But after 22 years, there's just some things that and the state has helped me get grants. I used to write them, and now if I need something, they'll help me, but they can't continue that either. The grants they're putting out now, I just got a list of grants, but they don't really apply to us because it's on the reservation or they have to live in a certain part. But I just feel like there's some things that I would like you to know, and then I understand the budget, but when I got called that I needed to buy my supplies for next year, I'd never bought supplies in my life, except for we bought them, but we wasn't ever reimbursed for them, my inks and stuff like that. It wasn't paid for by the city, whether it came up like that, but it wasn't, because we spent a lot of money, keeping, I got a computer grant, I put my computers over there, most of my home computer and stuff is sitting over at Care and Share. I finally got one, but I'm afraid to take mine home because I'm not sure, we're still having problems. But I just want you to know that we have went, number one, my freezers, I got a grant for 2 freezers, stainless steel.
So I had that's what I had a question on. The bathroom, of course, St. Mary's or whoever's not gonna pay for, or the carport. On the 2 freezers, are those the ones that you have a grant for?
No, I do not have a grant for those. Right now, they're not offering a grant that I can buy interior, exterior stuff right now. And so when I was told I had a budget and I looked at it, I did. I mean, there was, and then there was $35,000 in there. So what they were doing was taking that $12,000 and just turning it into the general fund, apparently, because this is the first year I've ever heard of a budget, ever. And so I had to hurry and buy me some supplies because I was told, that they didn't know if they would roll over that money. I had 9,000, I can't remember that exact amount. 9,000 something left over, and I spent roughly 600 on supplies, and I was trying to get enough for 2 years, ink for printers and paper, and, you know, we go through a lot of paper, and the library has helped us out graciously, and I appreciate them, because they've, you know, sometimes stepped up and paid for my ink and stuff. So I just want you to know, the plumbing for the bathroom, the state feels like I need to have a separate one for, we've had some problems with my people walking through. That was the reason the door was put in there, and checking things further up, which they weren't allowed. And so I have a closet that it's plumbed, the water is there, and we use it, you know, for air conditioning. It's not, you know, I didn't know if the city could finish doing that or what. That was a rough figure. All I did here was just for the fixtures, and that was, I went to Lowe's, and actually the price was really probably lower than that, but, you know, I just kind of would like to have my own bathroom. I mean, no pun there, but I try to keep people not going up into there and trying to get in. I mean, that's
completely understandable.
that's not the thing that they should be doing. And we did have a gentleman walk through as they were doing their paperwork and stuff, and so, you know, so that was the reason I wanted to, but the state.
And then clarify the last thing on here, you got freezer, bathroom, carport, and what is getting boxes?
Well, we go to Canad 3 times a week, and we collect boxes from the grocery store. And right now, our truck is gone. We don't have a truck. We're using our son's. And, you know, but I just felt like and I know it's not possible, you know, to get a wage. I don't care if I get a wage. We used to have a truck, and then it needed some work on it.
So tell us what
Well, it would be,
what does that mean? You want other people in the care and share to
No.
start getting boxes?
No.
What is getting help mean?
well, no, I'm coming to the city just to see what they have. I don't want anybody else going after boxes, because then that means, well, who's gonna pay my gas, and, you know, maybe we're not gonna be available. We go up 3 days a week, pick up boxes. If I have something at the office, we would use the city office for that, or the truck for that. I'm just wondering if they have an old truck out there, or do they wanna pay me for gas, or, that's just something for you to consider. I mean, I don't know if that's possible. I know this didn't really make sense. It did make a lot of sense, because Lisa did it for me, but, and we're, you know, and so roughly we put in 180 miles a month, just going up and back when you figure out 3 times a week, and that would be, and we're not exaggerating. We're really just, you know, the little bit of help that we could get. I don't know what your policy is on, you know, if there was a truck out there. We do not drive the truck for personal business. We're using our son's truck right now. We're thankful to him, but that's what I'm talking about. You know, just if that's something that would even be possible. And I don't know, because I don't know your requirements or whatever.
So if your truck got 12 miles to the gallon, you're doing $180 a month, you're spending approximately $60 in gas per month. Is that close?
Yeah, that's probably close.
Okay.
We just figured that out as the miles that we were going. I don't know how a diesel does, but we're just trying to, you know, and I was just told to do my the capital outlays. And these were the things that I need. We're getting a lot more food. And the other thing about the carport, I'll just brief you on that one. We're running out of room. When you get 8 people inside there, and then I have to keep all the food up off the floor, so I'm taking that little bit of space in that carport to build boxes. You got people running into each other, and we just need some more room. So we thought, rather than build onto the building, you know, just buy one of those carports and put there and anchor it, so that they could drive through. We could build boxes in there, and the boxes could be done I have a conveyor belt, which works great, but we do a lot of lugging of boxes from, to the cars and back. So we just need some more room, and I can talk to the state and see what they can do. I haven't talked to them lately about it, but those are just some things that I feel like is an importance if we're gonna run care and share in Fredonia.
Okay.
We're picking up a lot of people now again.
You guys, somebody come up and go through and just see what we can.
Well, they don't have time to leave their jobs.
I don't know what we do from day to day, years, 20 years.
Oh, we're not questioning you,
Yeah, they're not there.
clarifying, so, no, Dave, like on the help, just need to know what that means.
So,
Do you need help? Do you
well, no,
need
you,
cheerleaders?
no, we've got a cooler,
So
and we,
you need between $720 and $1,000 a year for gas to go get boxes.
well, it would probably average that much, but, depend on if we had a,
I'm
Well,
gonna put down 720 to 1,000, we need to be specific, so.
okay, thank you, Derek.
All right, awesome.
So I haven't really, the only thing I talked about was freezers, and I checked on those, but they're trying to get more food up in the northern part. And I have a cooler that, when you get 22 pallets in that little cooler, and that's every month, we get about 22 pallets, and then they're sending me 4 pallets when the senior boxes pick up. So I have 4 pallets that I'm trying to box and hand those out and hand the senior boxes out. So it's a lot of work, and we don't mind doing it. That's why we've been here for 22 years, but I'm just asking some support so that I don't, I've got part of my supplies. I hope the rest of them soon get here. But it would be nice to have a little more, and I don't know which is cheaper, build out, or, we just thought you could stabilize one of those, and then the cars could just drive through there if it was rainy, or, because I have some, I won't say older, maybe around my age, handing out boxes, and so the conveyor belt has been great to a point, but we need to be able to expand, or we can't keep doing care and share, and I think it's a program that needs to be stay in the city of
And then
Fredonia.
one more question on the carport then, so are you talking about just extending the roof line? How big is this?
Well, it would just be one of those, carports that you can park 2 cars in or whatever, so that we could bring the food in.
Just a temporary kind of deal?
Well, yeah, we wouldn't hook it to the building, we would,
What do you sell?
yeah, we wouldn't hook it to the building, I don't think, I don't know, that was just our plan.
Delivery's included and installation is included. Oh, in that price?
Oh, and you sell open ones?
Open ones?
Mhm.
They're all custom made, whatever you want.
But that's what we're looking for, we just have to have the room, we gotta have the room. When you're doing over 100 boxes, and you have to do 2 boxes, so you've got 200 boxes you're trying to find, and they clamped down on me, I had to have pallets cut in half, and all the food had to go on pallets. We have to have everything 2 inches off the floor. That's a hard thing to do with the little space that I have. And I'm not complaining, because I think the city's been, good, and I know there's some areas that I could improve in, but it's, so that's where I'm at right now. And I didn't know in the bathroom if the city was capable of doing that, I don't know. Are they?
Well, this is gonna have to be one of those items that you discuss with our budget on Thursday night then. So,
Okay, and what about my rollover?
So one question, so is their budget under non-departmental?
Yes,
Okay. Is that the only organization that's under non-departmental?
As far as I know, yes.
yeah, I think it is.
One of the things that the law enforcement brought up is that, just to let you know that we're not discounting the freezers, that we just need to go through the budget process.
Oh, I understand that,
We're
but,
looking at the backup generator, we're making it bigger so that it could saying is it's on the radar. I mean, it's something wanted, but we just, we'll get a bigger generator for the law enforcement if we can. And that way your backup is there. My point being is your freezers are not, they're not being discounted. They're very much appreciated in what you're doing, but we want to make everything fit together as best we can.
Well, we used to have a generator, and then when we moved in there, we did have a small generator, and it disappeared, and so.
Well, the backup generator that the law enforcement, they brought up the idea of having it bigger so that it could meet your needs also.
Well, I appreciate them, because they support us and let us into the building, you know, they could take the whole building. But I don't have extra rooms, I share with the Coconino County heating and whatever she does. I have a room for her when she comes, we set it up for her, so that people are able to come in and sit down and have a little bit of privacy. I also have my office, my girls that done with computers, because everything has to be filed and they're locked, no one can see. We don't ask anybody for an income. Arizona does not ask for income on people, it's a kind of like an honesty policy. They just have I give them a budget thing, and it shows how many's in the family or whatever, but.
So we'll look at all four of those, and I would make the suggestion, just like items 1 and 3, let's, I think it's all there, but to make that decision, let's make that decision on Thursday. So
And I'm not good at presenting, but that's kind of where I came from, and I just, I got my budget for the year, my items, I think I've got enough to do me through the year. And I don't mind taking something of mine over there if I'm not using it, it's been kind of hard to do that. We have 2 containers full of boxes, we have to keep those boxes right to the door, because when you're using 100, 150, and it's hard to get boxes, more people are beginning to like boxes, so. I appreciate your support, and I know you support me. I just want you to know that is my rollover coming, Ted?
They'll discuss that Thursday too.
You'll talk about that on Thursday?
Yes.
Okay, because I had 9,800 and something, and I spent 600 on and so I was in hopes that I could roll that over so that some of that could go for what I needed, because I couldn't spend it all on supplies, and so I was kind of, and that's what I was told by Jamie, was to ask about having that rolled over and seeing if that would help me out on what I needed to buy, because that would probably cover a lot of it, and sometimes when I go to Lumber Plus to get something, they'll donate it. They've donated a lot over there on my doors and stuff, so I feel like I've been blessed by doing it, but, my workers want everything right at once, but I've worked for 22 years to get what I've got now, so I guess that. But no, the state of Arizona does not pay me a wage, they never have, and the only thing the truck would be used for, like I say, is to come and pick something up here. It would be parked in the backyard, or if it had to go back out to the thing, that's what we did the last time. And it worked well for us. Nobody used it, we just kept it locked up in the backyard. So just when we went, I guess, I can tell you, when you're on Social Security and your budget is tight, there's not much you can, and then they keep dropping it, and then they up it, you get used to one, and then they take it down again. So I just want you to know that, and I appreciate anything that you can do for us.
I think we need to take Marv's suggestion to heart, and all of us go over there and take a look at what did you do. I know that it's hind end elbows over there.
Just don't mind our language.
Yeah.
We have
We
good
swear
help.
at each other quite a bit.
We have good help, and we get a lot of good food from downstate, and I don't accept anything that's not good, because it just wastes, but I try to keep my coolers cleaned and my freezers, and I just passed my inspection. I didn't have any, usually, there's a few things I'm missing, but this year I aced my, so we work hard to keep it. You never know when DES or the bosses are gonna drop in on me. That's just something that they can do and not have to tell you, so I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the help.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time. And we'll take these and discuss all them items on Thursday and come up with some solutions for you.
Okay, so,
So, is there anything else anybody wants to bring up tonight, talk about?
So, let's just clarify what we're doing on Thursday. Thursday, are we gonna discuss some of these things within these budgets? Are we gonna approve what was proposed? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, on Thursday, there will be a budget portion, which will be starting at 7, and it will be open in here. And then, and one item that I was hoping would be brought up is that for a future action item to be discussed is IT services. Our computers and our backups and such I found are very inadequate on our backups.
That little van is parked out here on the lawn. So
Yeah, but-
when you say we're inadequate, what does that mean? We need to fire the guy that's working for us?
No, that person is the one that saved our bacon on this last.
I'm just
We
gonna
need
say,
to
his,
hire-
So what does that
We need
mean, IT? We need more IT, we need better,
Need a
better,
local.
better
local
backup,
IT.
Well,
less Olson.
I wanted.
one at a time.
Okay. First, it's not on our agenda, so I wanted to add it to the agenda for this upcoming meeting so that it could be discussed. The bottom line is that we had a very bad time coming back up after that outage. And I discovered that our server backups were not what we thought. And our desktops are not backed up at all. And I don't know if you know Jamie, when she was here, she used the desktop. And all her work was basically at risk. So we had Craig from Canap came down, and that's that little white car, and they helped us. But our IT services are with another company, so we better just leave it at that, discuss it on the meeting.
Okay.
But I would like you to add to your agenda, so we can put it on the agenda.
I think that's where we're at in the meeting anyway.
Yeah.
So, though, I do think, I know there was a couple of things, there were some wages, and this is regarding the upcoming meeting, there were some wages discussed that we were gonna talk about in executive session, but there's other things within the budget that if we're discussing, some of it specifically is about specific people and specific wages, and the attorney said we have to discuss that in open meeting, and we've done that before, and it's called a crap fest. So somehow we need to get parts of this budget discussion also in the executive session. Cause we can't discuss specific people and their wages in a public meeting. We can't disclose that.
Right, and there is gonna be some specific people issues, and they've been notified, according to what the attorney told us that we had to do. And they said they gave us approval to have an executive session. So they've been notified that that'll be a part of that agenda on the executive session when we give it to you. But they have been notified, and then, but this issue, the IT issue, would be a budget issue and something that we would probably wanna discuss in the open,
Okay.
in the budget side. It's gonna be a significant change.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Anybody else have any questions?